Hey, what is up? So today we're going to be doing a remake of the first video about battle algorithms and more. Because if you haven't noticed, the first video's audio is absolute shit. So we're going to be going into more depth about it, but mostly it's going to be a review of the first video. And let us get started. Dun dun dun. So, have you ever wondered how rank number 1, 2, 3 got to be so skilled and strong players? Well, let me tell you right now. There is little to no skill involved in this game. This game is probably 99.9999. I could go on forever, 9% pay to win. But that 0.0000001% is what makes a truly skilled player, and it can be a significant difference if you're around the same level. So if you and another player are attacking each other, and if you guys are around the same level, then this is what actually decides the outcome of the battle. Okay, so let us get started. So before we get into it, we're going to talk about the 4 basic type of troops: the infantry, cavalry, range, and siege. So we're going to talk about the purpose of each one. The infantry is obviously your tanks. They tank for your other troops while your other troops do damage. That's why they have high attack. That's why they have high health and defense, but low attack. Your cavalry and your archers, they're going to be your damage dealers. They're going to be the ones that are going to be wrecking shit to your opponent and racking up those kill points for you. Though what they have is high attack, and that is what makes them damage dealers. Although the thing is, they have very low defense and health. Meaning, if you don't have strong enough infantry, then your cavalry and archers are pretty much fucked. Your siege is a special case. Your siege they do damage to traps and get rid of traps, so your other 3 units don't have to worry about getting damaged by traps. So with the balance of all 4 of these troops, you will be literally invincible. That is a lie. You will not be invincible. In fact, you'll still be pretty vulnerable to someone that pays. But hey, at least you know now. I will try to be as honest as I can with my videos, but along with to be funny as well. I won't try to sugarcoat anything. Sometimes I will, but most of the time I won't sugarcoat it. Anyway, so back to the points. Each individual troop, there are 2 different types of that individual troop. For infantry, there are warriors and spearmen. Warriors have an increased defense against archers. Spearmen have an increased defense against light cavalry. What does this mean? So warriors have an increased defense against archers. This means that when they are faced against archers, #archers, well, not crossbowmen, archers, they'll have increased defense. That means their defense will be higher, and they'll receive less damage. I would say warriors are better than spearmen, because spearmen have an increased defense against light cavalry, but the thing is, archers do more damage than light cavalry. Not even light cavalry, just cavalry in general. Archers do more damage than cavalry. At least I am pretty confident. Let me see. Damage 9. Damage 8. See, I was right. Anyway, so back to the point. This means that warriors are better than spearmen. However, if you're talking about tiers, obviously the higher tier is better. But if it comes down to the point where you're facing someone, and then you have to know that warriors are better than spearmen. And you can also formulate a kind of a strategy, and you can kind of already speculate how much losses you're going to have depending on the type of troop they have and what you have correspond to that troop. For example, if you have like a spearman, and then if the opponent has a spearman and then you have light cavalry, well, you know you're going to be doing less damage to their infantry. The knights there are 2 types of cavalry: heavy cavalry and light cavalry. Heavy cavalry have an increased attack against warriors, meaning that meaning they do more damage against the warriors, this type of infantry, which is actually very OP. Meaning heavy cavalry is actually much better than light cavalry. Even stats wise, if you look at light cavalry, 7, but the attack also 7 for TA. And this is a whole tier difference, but the attack is still the same, if you know what I mean. But you still want to click the higher tier because the other stats are higher, but I'm just proving my point as in like heavy cavalry is pretty OP. And then we have the archers. There are two types of archers, the archers and the crossbowmen. The crossbowmen are significantly better than the archers because if you can bring crossbowmen and then heavy cavalry, then it doesn't matter what kind of infantry they have, be it warrior or spearman, your archer or your cavalry has got it. They'll be able to wipe it out no matter what. So it is literally OP as fuck. And if you want to see the stats are much better. Look, the stat is 9 attack. This is 7. Like granted, this is a higher tier, but think about it. For cavalry, it was the same. But for archers, for different tiers, it's 2 full points, which is actually a lot if you include the buffs. For siege, there are 2 types of siege: melee siege and distance siege. Distance siege does damage from the distance, and they pretty much get rid of traps, but they don't really do. Honestly, if you're trying to get rid of most of the traps, you want to use melee siege. But the thing is, you will actually lose melee siege because melee siege sacrifices themselves to get rid of traps. But if it's in kill event, you're gonna want to use distance siege because distance siege is much faster than melee siege. As you see here, speed 5. Distance siege speed 7 because when people are going to be reinforcing a lot during kill event, so obviously if you want your timer to be faster, to be able to hit the opponent faster without using speed ups, you're going to use distance siege, which actually can probably save you up to a minute, which is a lot. Now we're going to be talking about the different battle algorithms. How does your troop line up and how do they attack, and what decides a victory in a battle? What decides a victory? So let's first talk about the lineup. So the lineup, a typical lineup of battling is your infantry is your first line of defense, your cavalry is your second line of defense, and your archers are your third line of defense, and your siege are your final line of defense. So pretty much for your how you decide who wins a battle. How you win a battle is you pretty much have to get rid of the opponent's infantry. So when you're facing someone, if you're able to get rid of the opponent's infantry before they get rid of yours, and then you pretty much win the battle. Because if you get rid of the opponent's infantry fast enough, then your troops will wipe out their cavalry and archers. Because as I was saying, if you look at our knights, well, cavalry health and defense, and archer health and defense is little to none compared. So it's cutting through butter once you get past infantry. So in short, if you lose your infantry, you're fucked. Like you just can't let them get past your infantry. If they get past your infantry, you pretty much already lose the battle, because even if you do win the ultimate war, you're gonna lose the battle because you're gonna lose so many troops in the other person. So now getting to the prioritizing buffs. So what type of buffs are there, and how do they really make an impact on the game? So there are several types of buffs in this. So the first of all, obviously your equipment buffs, relic buffs, like the Dragon Blade, the Crown of Command. You have your Lore Talent buffs. You have your combat research buffs. And then you have your item buffs. Also, you have dragon buffs. But dragon buffs usually mostly just like dealing high damage. And if you want to check out my video, I go through over all the dragon skills and whether it's good or bad. So all three of these, not all three, what the hell am I saying? All of these things added together are what determines your buffs. So for pay-to-win players, you just want to work on all the buffs, get all of them higher and everything. But if you have like a budget, you can't spend that much money, or you're free to play, you obviously have to prioritize on what buffs you have to work on. So prioritizing, what buffs should you work on for each kind of troop? For infantry, because they're your tanks, you obviously want to work on health and defense, because they're your tanks, so you want to get the health and defense high. And as I was saying, what wins a battle is if your infantry can hold the opponent off long enough. Your knight, you want to work on your attack. Your knight and your archers, you want to work on your attack because of your damage dealers. You want to get them high so they're able to wipe out the opponent's infantry, which goes along with Cavalry Claw. The skills OP, Flaming Arrows also because they do damage against infantry. Finally, your siege. So for siege, what's important, it really depends on the type of siege. If you have distance siege, you just need to have attack really, really high. While for your melee siege, you want everything to be higher because, as I was saying, they sacrifice themselves. So you want high health and defense to be able to soak up the damage, but you also want high attack to do damage the traps. And that is pretty much it for this video. If you guys have any questions, concerns, please post in the comment section below. I'm a new YouTuber, so I really welcome any kind of advice. I won't be offended, so feel free to say some advice. I'll try my best to fix it. Like for this video, for example, I did this video just because a few people were saying how they really liked the first video. They just really can't bear the audio, so they were wondering if I could remake it. So therefore, I remade it. I'll also be doing some Clash of Clans and Clash Royale videos from time to time for a change of pace. And that's pretty much it. Please like, subscribe for more content. If there's anything I can help with, please let me know. And that is it, guys. So as always, please stay sexy.